everyone. Now this is the second video of The End of Living and the Beginning of Survival by Chief Seattle, which you have got to study in the Zeitgeist. Now in the last video we talked about the very introduction. I gave you a very brief know-how regarding Chief Seattle, and the first part of the speech where Seattle is actually describing the difference between the attitude that the white man has on nature or about nature, and the attitude that the white men have, or the attitude that white people keep about nature. Now, Chief Seattle says that the nature that they live in, they cannot think of the fact that, or they cannot think of the kind of idea that a land, water, sky, all these things could be bought and sold. That is not that kind of a materialistic idea that the white settlers were talking about was not part of the Native American culture. For them, land was something where they lived. Land was not something to be possessed. Land was not something that you could say that it's your own. You have nothing in nature is your own. Everything belongs to everyone. In a sense, you cannot say that this particular land belongs to me, this particular portion of sky, this is mine. The oxygen that is there above my head is just my oxygen. You cannot take it up. The concept, that kind of an idea, the water that is in my well is my own. So you create wells, you make wells so that you would be able to possess water. You demarcate or you divide land to different people, which means you are thinking about the materialistic, the possession part of it. So for white settlers, they are those people who want to conquer, who want to plunder, who want to molest, who want to exploit land, water, sky, everything that nature provides us. And he says that Native Americans, we are not so. We value our land. We value our land. We respect our land. We respect the air, the water, the land, as we respect our fathers, our ancestors. We treat them as brothers and sisters, as kith and kin. Now in the second part, I'll just read it out. I do not know. Our ways are different than your ways. The sight of your city pains the eyes of the red man. The smoke that rises from your cities, it pains our eyes. There is no quiet place in the white man's cities. No place to hear the unfurling of leaves in spring or the rustle of the insect's wings. The clatter only seems to insult the ears. And what is there to life if a man cannot hear the lonely cry of the whippoorwill or the arguments of the frogs around the pond at night? I am a red man and do not understand. The Indian prefers the soft sound of the rain, or soft sound of the wind darting over the face of a pond, and the smell of the wind itself, cleaned by the midday rain or scented with pinyon pine. Now this is very much kind of a sarcastic voice that Seattle is using. He says, I do not know, perhaps you are better. We do not understand you. We cannot understand you because your ways are completely different from our ways. Your cities, when we look at your cities, it pains the red man. There is no quiet place in your cities, right? You cannot sit simply and listen to the music of the birds, listen to the unfurling of the leaves, listen to the rustle of insects' wings. Whatever clatter, whatever sound, the sound and fury that the white settler colonies or the settler places, the cities which are created by the white people, all those sounds are actually kind of an insult to the ears. It does not soothe our ears. The voices, the noise, the hubbub of the city actually it is a kind of an irritation for our ears. It does not suit us. Nothing is there in the city which could suit us. There is, see, if a man cannot listen to the cries, to the music of the birds, if a man cannot take part in the argument of frogs, if a man cannot listen to the argument of frogs, the sound of the frogs at night, see, what is life for? What is life for? So the Red Indians, of course, prefer to listen to all these things. We prefer to live in our land by listening to the sounds, by listening to the voices, by listening to the music, by listening to each and every sound in nature. Everything in nature, every voice of nature, every sound of nature suits us. See, the midday rain, the rain, the smell of the wind when it rains, the scent of pinyon pine, everything. We would love to enjoy all these things. That is what make our life. Those are the things which makes our lives. The air is precious to the red man. For all things share the same breath. The beast, the tree, the man, they all share the same breath. The white man does not seem to notice the air he breathes. Like a man dying for many days, he is numb to the stench. But if we sell you our land, you must remember that this air is precious to us, that the air shares its spirit with all the life it supports. The wind that gave our grandfather his first breath also receives his last sigh. And if we sell you our land, you must keep it apart and sacred as a place where even the white man can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by the meadow's flowers. So we will consider your offer to buy our land. If we decide to accept, I'll make one condition. The white man must treat the bees of this land as his brothers. Now, talking about the air, can you own air? Can you say that this portion of air belongs to me? Now, this is what he is talking about. He says that the red man is sharing the same breath. See, as the bees, the tree, the man, everything in this nature, everything in ecology is actually sharing the same breath, sharing the same air. You cannot say that this air belongs to me, this water belongs to me, this land belongs to me. So white men perhaps do not even notice the air that he breathes. See, he does not even know that the air that he breathes has got some sort of a stench in it, some sort of a stinking stench to it. It is stinking. The air is stinking. Probably you do not understand it because you are so used to the air, the stinking smell of the air. You are so used to it that you are quite indifferent. You become numb, right? You become numb. But if we sell you our land, you must make sure that the air is as it is now. If you can do that, if you can give us that sort of a promise, we are ready to offer our land to you. So, and another thing that you should take care of is the white man should treat the bees of this land as his brothers. Now, I am a savage. Again, the tone is very much sarcastic. I am a savage and do not understand any other way. That is why I'm saying, see, probably you might brand me, you might label me as a savage, uncouth person, but yeah, of course I am a savage and I do not understand your ways. I have seen 1,000 rotting buffaloes on the prairie left by the white man who shot them just for a pleasure from a passing train. I am a savage and do not understand how the smoking iron hose can be made more important than the buffalo that we kill only to stay alive. Now what happens is, why do you kill animals? Red man says we kill animals only to live, only to stay alive, not for leisure, not for pleasure. We do not seek pleasure by killing animals. We do not seek pleasure by killing bees, killing birds. We do not get pleasure from it. If you kill something, it is just for you to stay alive. You must make sure of that. What is man without the bees? If all the bees were gone, man would die from a great loneliness of the spirit. For whatever happens to the earth, happens to the bees, soon happens to man. All things are connected. Now, what are we doing here? What are we doing with the bees here? How can man live without bees? How can man live without trees? How can man live without birds, without water, without air? Now, when we're thinking of this this speech becomes very relevant, because nowadays, what are we up to? We're just contaminating, polluting everything that we see around, right? The water, the air, the land, everything is getting polluted. We are cutting down trees, we are killing animals, we are doing all sorts of things. So Seattle is reminding us over and over, again and again, that things are connected. Please don't do it. Please don't kill bees, because today you kill bees, tomorrow it's your doomsday. Yeah. You must teach your children that the ground beneath their feet is the ashes of our grandfathers, so that they will respect the land. Tell your children that the earth is rich with the lives of our kin. Teach your children that what we have taught our children, that the earth is our mother. Now, this is the sort of learning that we should have. All our learning should be connected, should be centered on ecology. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of earth. If we spit upon the ground, they spit upon themselves. What are we doing? Just lying and spitting onto ourselves, right? This we know, the earth does not belong to man. Man belongs to the earth. This we know. Now here, probably Chief Seattle is trying to give us the difference between two concepts. One is ecocentrism, the other one is anthropocentrism. We always were so very concerned about this, bothered about this anthropocentrism, right? There, man becomes the center of the universe and everything would be made for man. Man is the Lord, man makes everything, and the whole of the nature is for man to exploit, right? That was the anthropocentric viewpoint. Now, Chief Seattle, probably through this particular speech, is putting forward the ecocentric view. The ecocentric view, where ecology, where nature is the center of everything, and everything in nature is connected to each other. Man is connected to bees, man is connected to air, man is connected to water, man is connected to everything, the sky, the rivers, the seas, everything, the land, the trees, the plants, the animals, the birds, everything that you see on earth. So what Chief Seattle wanted to put forward is the idea that everything is connected. All things are connected. Even the white man, whose God walks and talks with him as friend to friend, cannot be exempt from the common destiny. We may be brothers after all, we shall see. One thing we know, which the white man one day discover, is our God is the same God. Now, the God that they are talking about and the God that we are talking about is probably the same. Everything is connected. Now, you may think now that you own him. Probably you might be thinking that you own your God. Even your God is our God as well. As you wish, you own your land. See, you always have a tendency to possess everything. You possess land, you possess air, you possess water, you possess everything, including God. You feel that God is yours alone. But you cannot possess God as you have possessed everything else. He is the God of man, and his compassion is equal for the red man and the white man. The earth is precious to him. God is, of course, not like you. God does not teach you to plunder. God does not teach you to molest the land. God always wanted to preserve the land. So probably God, and for God, the whole of the earth is precious. And if you harm the earth, to harm the earth is to heap contempt on its creator. So you harm the earth, you ravish the earth, and what happens is you are heaping contempt on God, the creator. The whites too shall pass. Everybody is going to die, right? This is a cyclical process. Everybody is going to die. Perhaps probably the whiter generation, the whites are probably would pass sooner than the rest of the people, because they are always bent on harming themselves, right? Harming themselves. By harming nature, you're harming yourself. By putting nature in danger, by putting the bees, the animals, the plants, the air, the water, the sky, everything, you are putting yourself in danger. You're contaminating your own bed, and you will one night suffocate in your own waste. Now that is what you're doing. The time is almost come, the time is almost reached, and now you just wait, because you have heaped lots and lots of waste upon your bed. You have contaminated your own bed, and you would of course one day suffocate in the waste, and you will die. But in perishing, you will shine brightly, fired by the strength of God, who brought you to this land and for some special purpose gave you dominion over this land, over the red man. That destiny is mystery to us, for we do not understand. When all the buffaloes are slaughtered, the wild horses are tamed, the secret corners of forest heavy with the scent of many men, and the views of the ripe hills bloated by talking wives. We do not know what destiny, why these white people, what was the special purpose of this white people who had dominion over us. We do not know. That is quite a mystery to us. But and we do not understand the moment or the day. We cannot understand the moment or the day when the buffaloes are slaughtered, when everything is gone, the horses are tamed, when the hills are filled with talking wires, cables. We do not understand such a kind of a world. That is quite a mystery for us. When the thickets are gone, when the eagle is gone, probably there is the end of living and the beginning of survival. You do not live when all these things are gone, when the beast is gone, when the plants are gone, when the sky is gone, when the air is no more pure, when the water is no more pure, when lands are divided into different, when people begin to possess lands in like anything, and when they create buildings over buildings. See, what do? Are you living? You're just surviving, right? You're just surviving. You are living. You just compete with each other. You do not live. You do not enjoy. You do not see or feel what's happening in nature. You cannot enjoy the thicket. You cannot enjoy the sound, the voice of the birds, the bees, the river. You cannot enjoy the purity of the water which is there in the streams, which flows along the streams. You cannot enjoy anything, because there, once all these things happen, once the hills are filled with talking wires, once the thicket is gone, once you cannot find an eagle anywhere, birds anywhere, once you cannot find bees anywhere, once your air becomes stinking, what happens is, the only thing that had happened is human beings would have stopped living, and they're just surviving. They're just surviving. Living means you live to your full. There is a fullness, right? There is a fullness when you live. You live each moment. That does not happen when you're surviving. So there is the end of living and the beginning of survival. I hope you might have understood the chapter. Thank you all.